In Uganda, conservationists have introduced Action for Rhinos, a new initiative to enhance the protection of the endangered rhino species in the country. The initiative was launched on Sunday during the World Rhino Day celebrations at the Uganda Wildlife Conservation Education Center Uwaka in Entebbe. David Bakane, the organization's executive director, emphasized that rhinos are the second heaviest land mammals, weighing up to 3,000 kilograms following elephants. He explained that rhinos have existed for over 50 million years and were once widespread across North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia with around 30 species. However, only 5 species remain today due to significant declines in recent decades. Uganda was home to eastern black rhinos and northern white rhinos, but the last indigenous rhinos were sighted in 1982 and were declared extinct the following year.
One of the challenges is that we got actually some rhinos from Kenya. Some came in 2001, 2 have been living in the zoo. Then 2005 we got 4 from Kenya. 2006 we got 2 from America. And from 6 the number has gone up to above 40 at a certain place called Ziwa in Nakasongora. And because of such numbers, people don't understand that the actual rhinos that we had in Uganda are almost getting extinct. The eastern black rhino is still classified as endangered. The northern white rhino is still almost extinct.
Bakane highlighted that in 1954, approximately 300 northern white rhinos lived in a Jai game reserve in northwestern Uganda, but extensive poaching reduced their numbers dramatically. Only 2 pairs were relocated to London and the US, eventually ending up in the Czech Republic and Kenya, where only 2 elderly females remain, too old to produce. However, he noted that scientific advancements have allowed for the development of embryos from these females, and if successful, they could potentially be brought back to Uganda for further conservation efforts.
And I believe the sooner we get some of those opportunities, those embryos, into our rhinos, into Ajay, then the earlier we are likely to have the first calf, which will be the first in the whole world. You can imagine, we think gorillas are very, very important in terms of tourism, but such a calf would be even more than that. But again, it's also nice to save them because they deserve to live. So we have to act fast and save the northern white rhinos. We have to preserve the remaining habitat.
He also suggested that Uganda should consider importing eastern black rhinos for ecological balance and tourism, urging stakeholders to take responsibility for making this happen. Bakane aims to raise at least Uganda shillings 10,000 from each of over 1 million people to facilitate the importation of at least 4 rhinos to support conservation efforts.
I appeal to the public to champion and support our cause by learning more about our work. You can visit our website www.actionforrhinos.org to know more. You can use the internet, our phones that we have, to know more about rhinos. If you know about their status, about their plight, that's when you will be motivated to do something about them. And I appeal to the government to continuously provide peace. Because it is with a stable environment that the rhinos are able to thrive.
Dr. Tadewa Rusoke, a conservation scientist and lecturer at Mountains of the Moon University, pointed out that returning rhinos to their natural habitats would enhance Uganda's tourism potential on both domestic and international levels.
We are trying to bring back a species into a country where it was once extinct. And what I mean here is that when a species is extinct, it means that we do not have any of its closest relatives still alive, meaning the generations who are to come after us will never see this species. So it is important to bring back the rhinos, to create more action like what David is doing, Action for Rhinos, to ensure that even when we are long gone, our children, our grandchildren, and those who are going to come after us are able to see these magnificent species. So you realize that rhinos are flagship species. These are one of the big 5 species which we have, and when we talk about the big 5 species, these are the country's sort of tourism cash cows. So when we bring back the rhinos, we shall be adding on the tourism product for our country.
Jacob Ochelo Onama, chairperson of the West Nile Tourism Cluster, asked the government and conservationists to prioritize public awareness campaigns to ensure proper conservation practices as efforts to reintroduce rhinos to Ajai proceed.
They should look at in engagements with the local community to embrace the receiving of these animals, especially in Ajai and in the West Nile region, and also government funding should be allocated more to the tourism ministry to sensitize communities and areas that are surrounded by communities in the conservancies areas.
Compiled by Mary Mishimwa and Norbert Ndiamhachi for Kigezi Television.